94 degrees at 422 here at News Talk 1400 DWS. And joined in the studio this afternoon by Rodney Davis. He's a candidate for the 13th Congressional District seat against Dr. David Gill on the Democratic side. Rodney, welcome to Champaign-Urbana here today, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate you having me. Well,
it's been a busy day for you today. I know you were up in the Chicago area a little bit earlier visiting with Senator Mark Kirk, a U.S. Senator who's still recovering from that stroke he suffered last year. Just tell us a little bit about that visit earlier today.
You know, Senator Kirk is just a phenomenal individual. I knew him when he first got elected to Congress back in 2000, I believe it was. Got to know him even better when he was running for Senate. And I got a call, said he asked to see me. So I went up there and got a chance to sit down and talk with him for about a half hour. We talked about many of the issues that are affecting Central Illinois. He was very interested in my congressional race. We talked about it, but we mainly focused on what we were hearing. You know, if there was anything he and his office could do to help, you know, the folks down in this area, especially with the drought. You know, the drought, the lack of a comprehensive farm bill was a big part of our discussion.
And he seems to be coming along pretty well in his recovery at this point?
Oh, I think so. You know, we got to give him as much time as he needs to go through the therapy that he needs. I'll tell you what I saw in Senator Kirk was a tenacity to continue to improve, and I think from what I've been told, it's been leaps and bounds. And I just hope everybody wishes him well and gets a chance to do that.
And I know this afternoon you've gotten to spend some time on the University of Illinois campus here in Urbana-Champaign. Got to take a tour of that Lincoln Hall renovation that's going on. Tell us what you saw over on campus today.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful in Lincoln Hall. Got a chance to chat with the folks that were in charge of that renovation. Met some folks that were still working on it, trying to get it ready for the students here in a few weeks. But I have been to the U of I campus before in my past experience, and talking about many of the same issues. But it was great to sit down with President Easter, and it was great to sit down with the folks to get an overview of the entire campus. And I was really, really encouraged with the renovation at Lincoln Hall, encouraged with some of the financial issues that they've been facing and the things that they've been able to do on their own in these times of budget cuts. And I got a great education on the rail program and rail issues there that are going to affect this entire 13th district.
Talking with Rodney Davis. He's the GOP candidate for the 13th Congressional District here in the state of Illinois. And you touched on the drought in your conversation with Senator Kirk, obviously, with the 13th District, agriculture a huge part of the district. And the Congress has gone into recess here for August. No farm bill has made it through both chambers. The Senate did pass a version, but nothing's gotten out of the House to this point, at least in terms of a comprehensive bill. Give us your thoughts about where this process is at and what needs to happen here in the short term before the election.
It's pitiful. You know, it's absolutely pitiful that Republicans and Democrats couldn't come together to pass a comprehensive farm bill. We're in a historic drought, and it is up until last night. You know, I hadn't seen rain in my hometown of Taylorville for a month and a half. Haven't mowed my lawn in a month and a half. We got a good rain last night, which was great, but we're still way down. I will tell you, this is probably the most disappointed I've been as a candidate, is seeing that there's still this polarization in Washington that's not allowing common sense issues like a comprehensive farm bill to be addressed. And that's why I want to go to Washington. I want to make sure something happens. And I'm looking forward to it.
In terms of, I guess, some of the policy issues in the Farm Bill, of course, so it's known as the Farm Bill, but a large chunk of that bill is, in fact, the food stamp program and some other food programs. In terms of policy coming out of that bill, what does Rodney Davis want to see?
Well, what we surely have to do is ensure that those who need assistance and those who need that safety net are the ones that are able to use it, and those who abuse it, make sure they don't have that opportunity. But what I think a lot of the discussion in Washington is on, and the discussion that I hear out in this area from farmers and others, is that we need some certainty. We need some certainty with a comprehensive farm bill that provides a strengthened crop insurance program. We have to have the risk management tools to ensure that our farmers can have that certainty that when they plant that crop, they're going to be able to not lose their farm if we have weather like this.
And finally, taxes, always a big issue in an election year, and two different bills have been voted on in both chambers of Congress. The Democrats' bill would have extended the tax cuts on income up to $250,000. The Republican version would have extended those tax cuts for all income for next year. I think I know which version you happen to support, but just talk a little bit about the tax issue here this year.
No, I think you do, and I'm on record as saying I would like to have seen all of these tax cuts permanently extended. You know, we're still in an economic doldrum, and we all believe, and politicians talk all the time, that the economy is going to recover on the backs of small businesses creating jobs. Well, small businesses aren't going to invest in equipment, inventory, or let alone people if they don't know what their tax bill is going to look like in December. And that's what we're heading to. If Republicans and Democrats cannot come together before the end of the year, we will have the largest tax increase on all Americans in American history. So something has to be done. Now, we're talking about the Democrat plan to tax those who are considered wealthy, $250,000 a year. That brings in a lot of small businesses and a lot of farmers who are subchapter S corporations who still pay taxes on what is considered income by the IRS, but is not necessarily spendable cash. So that's one problem. The other problem is, if that passed, you're funding the money that's generated by the tax revenue that comes in. It funds less than a week of government operations. This is all political rhetoric. It's political gamesmanship. And the sad part is Americans of all levels, all income levels, are going to suffer if something doesn't get done. And I urge Republicans and Democrats to get together and move on this.
All right. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there. Rodney Davis, GOP candidate for the 13th Congressional District. Thanks a lot for stopping by today, and we hope to see you here in Champaign between now and Election Day.
Thanks, Brian. Sorry we brought Patrick Finkston back with us.
Yeah, we'll have to put up with that, but we'll allow it this one time. All right, Rodney Davis joining me this afternoon. 96 degrees, 429. Local news coming up next. Afternoon, 96 degrees, 429.